So, hey internet, hey guys, so tonight Tuesdays we normally do time lapses, and I still haven't figured out or wrapped my head around a name because it kind of shifts and changes, but tonight I was kind of crunched with time and I didn't have time to do a time lapse or sketch out or finish one of the Inktober drawings that I've been trying to finish. If you missed last week, or you're a new subscriber, last week we drew this one right here. This is the movie poster for May, or what we would imagine the movie poster for May should look like realistically, and it's her sewing, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. If you're curious about that, I'll leave a link down below. And then the week before was Tucker and Dale versus Evil, two rednecks who decide to go on vacation and get accused as being murderers. It's another favorite movie of mine. I'll leave a link down below in case you're curious about those two time lapses. But tonight I actually wanted to talk about something that I was kind of reminded on the fact that I was crunched on time, and I was like, oh yeah, that conversation I had with my neighbors behind me at the Comic-Con. It happened to be Toxic Designs, and I think her name was, I'm gonna suck at this, Christine Stormy. There you go. Don't ask me how I got that from that. But me and Stormy were sitting there and talking about art supplies and how every artist used something different, and how it's always interesting to hear, you know, what somebody else uses, because no mind thinks alike. And it kind of got me thinking about cheap art supplies and how I really, really wish most people realize that art and creating things has nothing to do with the supply per se, but you can create anything with any kind of art supply. Thank you, phone. Whoever texted me is evil. But I was sitting there and I was thinking about cheap art supplies and how I sometimes use whiteout to create the white areas in my paintings. Mostly because I love the tip of the whiteout pen. That's just me personally. I don't like the gel pens. That's just like, sometimes I use bottles of ink instead of the microns that I have, and it just happens to last a lot longer than having to rebuy those microns. But tonight I actually wanted to talk about containers for creating art. You see that I have this sideways and I'm shaking it a little bit. What's kind of interesting is it'll drip a little bit maybe, but for the most part this has been the most amazing container I have ever found in terms of holding my water for my watercolor, or while I'm traveling and I want to do watercolor and I need to pick up and go instead of having to deal with a cup that I have to spill all over the place. I can just shut it and just kind of go on my merry way until I can dump it. And it's kind of funny because this happened by pure accident. It happens to be not necessarily this particular brand of gum, but a giant container of gum, like the 48-piece gum sets. And the best part, it doesn't matter. I realized a little bit when I was about to make the video that this one's bigger than this one. So I don't remember what brand this was, but it's the same container. And the whole idea is you have the big part for when you want to fill the water, or you want to spill it, or you just like working from a really large opening. You've also got the little tiny one, so when you're on the airplane, you don't splash everywhere. And then, best part is it's kind of water. I don't want to say waterproof because I know there's going to be that one individual that goes, psh, it's not waterproof, Alethea. But for the most part, if you knock it over, it will contain the water as long as you have both lids closed. To me, that is probably like the coolest part, not to mention I'm like notorious for spilling things like paint. I mostly get paint all over the place, but not necessarily water. Granted, my laptop has suffered a few times. Anyway, that's a whole different story for a different day, but I was kind of curious. What are some cheap art supplies that you personally love or you really enjoy using in your artist toolbox? Mine just happens to be used gum containers for holding my water. I thought this was something just everybody should know about, because I have yet to find a container that can hold my water, can also sit there and hold paint inside if I want to hold paint that I've mixed. I can use it as a palette. I think that's my other favorite part is, like, let's say you want to use the big opening, you can. And you can also use this as a palette to actually mix colors. That's a whole other ball game. Anyway, I could go on a rant about water containers. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing awesome, and definitely let me know down below what are some of your favorite cheap art supplies. And yeah, and definitely check out my 2 time lapses from weeks ago. I'll leave a link down below, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Bye.
Whatever it is that you believe you're seeing, it's not real.
Seeing things before they happen. Things are not always what they seem in this place. So you can't take anything for granted.